Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Hartley with Action Coach. What needs to pivot in my business, kickstart your day, get you refocused, because business is changing daily right now. Welcome, and I am Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm a non-medical type of doctor. I'm here to operate on your business. And when we look at how we operate on business, we're going to focus today on the 9 things that you should focus on in restarting, reopening your business. There are some very specific things as you look to restart and reopen that become really important. And first and foremost, you have things like mindset and whatnot to focus on. Those are important. You have to be in the right state of mind, because if you're not good, your business won't be. That's a whole nother webinar in and of itself. Today, we're going to talk about your business though. So let's dive in. So first thing in the restart to reopen properly is to re-educate and prepare. So know the rules of the game for where you are at specifically. So as an example, we have an office in Austin, Texas, and we understand that while Texas has statewide things, our mayor has recommended certain things that we do differently. Now, he can't mandate it because the governor supersedes him. With that said, he's highly recommended it. And so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's kind of the mindset of where we're at. So we need to be able to properly prepare for the mindset of our customers, our clients. Know the local rules of the game for you. Have common sense. Really, it's, in Portuguese, good sense is the actual translation. There's no such thing as common sense. So if you say common sense in Brazil, it's actually translated as good sense. And that to me makes more sense, because common sense honestly is not common. So have good sense. Be honest with yourself and say what is appropriate, what is not. Then get to the fact that yes, if you have a brick and mortar location, you must clean and screen everybody who comes in and out. Was at a place here in Austin this week, and they check your temperature, they have hand sanitizer, and then they give you a mask before you can ever walk in. They're providing all of that. They're not expecting or anticipating for people who are coming into their location to actually do that. And so they want to make sure that they have an environment that's safe and secure. And so they are providing. That's another step above what most people do. You go to the Apple store, they have a whole cart of stuff ready to do the exact same thing. You see, the companies that do this properly are prepared. So make sure you are educated, your team is educated, and then prepared for what needs to be done to properly restart and reopen. People have to see and feel it. People must see and feel that you are doing your due diligence to make sure that they are safe and working with you. We have a client in the spa industry who has put HEPA filters throughout their entire building because they want to make sure that their clientele understands that the safety is most important. So what are those things that you need to do to help your customers and clients see and feel secure as you look to restart? What are the things that you need in systems to prepare for what that means? That may mean that if we have certain clients who have trucks and they have teams that go out. Well, guess what? They had to stagger when their teams actually come in and out of their warehouse with the trucks to make sure that there's not more than 10 people any given time at the location. So that way, then when they're servicing customer homes, the customers are safe. And then they let their customers know their precautions and what they're doing. And so they needed systems to prepare, have the team different schedules and stuff like that. So people must be able to see and feel what you are doing to prepare. And then ultimately, be flexible. Understand that this is a moving target to some degree. Things started to open back up, and we anticipated that about 4 weeks after things opening back up, we would see a spike and things would have to shut down again, most likely for somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks again. So we have been preparing our clients for that. So you understand that it's not this happens and that's just the way it is forever. It's a moving target. And so you have to be consistently re-educating yourself with what's going on and preparing you and your team. That's the first one. The second one in properly restarting and reopening your business is to rebuild your team. For some, you had to lay off or furlough team members. For some of you, this was the opportunity to get rid of bad people on the team. Let's be candid about it. You may have been thinking about, well, I should probably let this person go. They're not a good fit, and they're not hitting their numbers, and they're not doing their job properly, and. Well, this was a great opportunity to let them go and to rebuild your team properly. So give your team confidence. Give them the ability to have flexible hours and understand that, look, statistically, when a person works from home one day out of the week or every 2 weeks, they become more productive. So maybe working virtually ended up being a good thing for your business, and you found ways to have systems in place to make sure that they're actually doing their work. And if you didn't, we have a whole webinar on how to lead virtual teams that we did. So go watch that one. So that way they become more productive for your business. Rebuild your team, give them the confidence, and let them know that you are at a secure place to work. We are not going anywhere. We are pushing through this. We are going to thrive throughout this, which we're going to talk about how to do as well. Let them be flexible with their hours. As long as they get their KPIs met and their stuff done, their work accomplished, the results you're looking for with the activities you're anticipating they're doing, guess what? That's great. Rebuild your team in the community aspect and communication. Help your team feel like a tight-knit group, that they are all one team focusing on the same vision. We're all going in the same direction. And then communication, have an actual communication system in place. Almost every one of our clients had to restructure their communication plan, their communication system that they and their team are using. This is here talking internally. In a moment, we're going to talk externally. So internally with your team, all the different mediums and modalities that you can communicate, text, call, Skype, Zoom, Slack, Teams. There are, I think we counted at one point like 20 different mediums in which you can use. You have things like Asana and Gantt charts and stuff like that. You have all sorts of ways that your team can communicate. You want to make sure that your communication is simple and your plan is straightforward. So they know, here is the type of communication that happens on this platform, this type of communication on this platform. Here's the response times that must be met. So when somebody sends you an email, it's of this importance, and so a response should be within blank amount of time. If someone sends it on this other platform, then this is how it's done. Have a clear communication plan. Set the standards. Please, if you're taking notes, which you should be, write this one down. Write the word expectations and then put a huge cross through it. Write it down in blue and then cross it out in red or pink or purple or green or whatever you want. Cross out that word expectations. Remove that from your vocabulary. It has a very negative connotation. And so you want to, instead having expectations, you're having business standards, bare minimum standards that each person must achieve. And then protocols, those systems in place on how they report those, how you hold them accountable to it, all of those kind of things. Then you set stretch goals. So you have standards, goals. We're going to stretch to get to the goals. We're going to hit the bare minimum standards. And when we don't, we're going to have that kind of conversation. Have that kind of data in front of you. Productivity, to make better use of your time. Productivity in a world where, guess what, the kids can run at any given time. You have people knocking at the door. You must be willing to ignore the door knocking. You must be willing to stay focused at the task at hand. You must create this environment within your team to help them understand, here's how we create a default calendar for our week. This is how we have daily action lists in place. And if you're having question marks on what those things mean, then guess what? We'll give you a complimentary session and we'll coach you through what all of those kind of things actually mean. Anyone who's watching this right now, if you're not a current client, I and my team will give you a complimentary 2-hour session to take the learnings and actually implement them into your business. And if you find value, then you can enroll into a program after that. But the initial 2-hour session is completely complimentary. Whether you enroll or not, we don't care. So getting the right systems in place to make sure that you and your team are being super effective and efficient and productive becomes really important. Not just being busy, being productive. So that's step 2 on how to restart and reopen your business. Number 3, one last one. Everyone is new again, meaning this is a good reset button for the business. We had some bad habits. We had some negative conversations going on. This is a reset button. You're going to hit it. And now we're going to create the business that you actually desire to have, the business that's going to give you the profit and cash and lifestyle that you deserve, that you desire, that's going to give back to the team and your community in ways that have never been given in the past. This is the reset button a lot of businesses actually needed. Internalize that for you. Then we get to the third one, which is deals for days. And when we say deals for days, we do not mean discounts. What we mean is adding value, having value added offers to your prospects, to your customers, to your past customers, all those kind of things. When one has a great deal to put into it, a day has 100 pockets. With them, what's in it for me? And if you're unsure what that actually means, then we have a marketing webinar. Go watch that one. We dive into all of the marketing things like with them and whatnot, all in that webinar. So deals for days, offers, offers, offers. Deals for different target audiences. Do not have one offer for everybody. General marketing, general offers do not work efficiently. You must be targeted with your offers. How many different target audiences do you have? And each one should have its own offer because each one's going to have its own emotional connection to what the WIFM is. Focus on the top 20% of customers that bring in 80% of the business. The 80-20 rule, still in effect. What does that look like for you? How do you get that 20% to come back more often? And again, if you've never watched our webinar on the 6 steps to build a business or come to one of our workshops back when they were in person, we talk about the, would you like fries with that? And we have a whole nother webinar on that one too. Again, this becomes really important to you. So focus on that top 20%. First responders, what are those things that you can do for deals and offers for those that have been in the front lines out there right now? Again, that client I mentioned earlier in the spa industry, and they're giving stuff away for free and stuff like that. Because guess what? First responders, they went through some crap. They went through some really hard weeks. And while, yes, that is what they get paid to do, because I heard people say, well, that's what they get paid to do. Yeah, guess what? It still was a whole lot of extra work and more protocols, and they're putting themselves in harm's way. They're putting themselves in the environment where they could get this deathly disease and things like that, virus. Have something for them. Existing customers, what's your deal for existing customers? Getting them to come back. Now that we're reopening everybody, how do we get them to come back? Come try us. Man, that's great for the first time. Like, we need new business, new blood into our customer base, into our CRM system. Come try us out. What does that look like for you? What's the offer you're going to provide there? All month long. Guess what? For the month of, we have this offer. Anyone who wants it for the entire month, come on in. Those are the kind of deals and offers you want to be focused on. Again, make sure they're not discounting, they're value add. And again, if you would like to understand what that actually means specifically for your business with some tactical, trackable strategies, we'll give you a complimentary session and we'll help you outline what that actually means in the plan short-term for your business. Number 4, reopening announcement. You got to let people know that you are open again. You know how many places restaurants I've actually looked at on Google and been like, oh, yep, they're open at least for takeout. And then you show up and yeah, no, they're still closed completely. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stop until someone lets me know. I'm tired of wasting my time making phone calls and stuff like that. So guess what? If I'm feeling that way, so is your customer base. So make sure you're announcing it clearly to them. What's this communication plan now externally? We talked about it internally within the team. Now it's externally to your audience. Build up the excitement. We have launched it. We are reopening on. Give them the date. Build up that excitement for them. Announce every step of the way what you are doing and every step that they'll need to go through in your reopening. So maybe you have a customer only opening where only people who can come in or work with you or whatever that may be. Maybe that's only for past customers and that's before the general public type thing. Announce every time you're adding a new team member. Announce the team member to your audience. Make sure that every team member is announcing the reopening on their own platforms and stuff like that as well. Announce every deal for every target. You may need your website to have new landing pages on it, where every landing page is for a specific target audience. Announce the dates in which these things are happening. Be very specific with it. And then communicate. Until people tell you to go away, communicate with them. Announce the deals. Announce the dates in which they take place. Whatever it is, announce it. Every single platform, every modality, every single thing that you have out there that you can share, share it, announce it, get other people to share it for you. Do it in video, do it in images, do it in text, do it in Zoom calls, tell people about it, do it through text, do it through email, announce it. It's hard for someone to come buy something from you, to have a service from you, if they don't even know that they can. So make sure that you're also announcing your full product or service ladder, program ladder, whatever you have. Make sure that they know everything that you have to offer. Statistically, the majority of your clients probably don't know everything you offer. So make sure that they do. Number 5 out of 9, redo celebrations. Celebrate the wins. In fact, don't just celebrate the wins weekly. Don't just celebrate them daily. Focus on what's a celebration I can celebrate from each hour of the day right now with my team. What's the celebration? What's the win we had this hour? So the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. You are bringing attention to the things you want to bring attention to instead of bringing attention to all the negative junk out there. Guess what? Life and the news, they're naturally going to focus on all the negative stuff. It's what gets people to click on what they're doing. It gets people to watch what's going on. Don't bring that negativity into your life. Focus on the wins. Focus intentionally your energy, your efforts on what is working well on the wins. Celebrations, ribbon cuttings, reopening. Do it just like you had your grand opening. Celebrate surviving. Guess what? We made it through this thing, everybody. We didn't close down. We made it through. So we're celebrating that. Celebrate your team. Guess what, everybody? We love the fact that you stuck through us or that you're joining us as we are hitting that reset button in our business. Celebrate your team. Celebrate your customers. Thank you so much for sticking with us throughout this whole thing. Thank you for coming back, regardless of the situation going on in the world. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And for what it's worth, make it heartfelt. Don't just say it. Be real. Pause for a second. Let them know that you do value them as your customers. Celebrate your community. Celebrate your community as in your customer base, as in your industry, as in the people you've surrounded yourself with, your strategic partners, whatever that may mean for you. Celebrate your community that you have. Pay it forward. And ultimately, make it memorable and newsworthy. Guess what, everybody? We are coming out of something that the world, for the most part, has never witnessed before. And we made it through. And we made it through with you. Let's celebrate. Focus. Bring intention and attention to the things that you desire versus the things that you do not. Number 6, rerun your numbers. Business is math. Write that down in massive letters, bold letters on your notes. Business is math. Marketing is math. You must rerun your numbers. Every decision right now either makes money or costs money. So every decision must be tracked, tested, and measured to see if it's making you money or costing you money. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. More often, not less often. Daily. Some things that were quarterly are now monthly. Things that were monthly are now weekly. Things that were weekly are now daily. Things that were daily are now hourly. Focus on your numbers. Know what they are. Rerun them. Have your CPA or your bookkeeper making sure that they give you up-to-date numbers all the time. One of the biggest things that we see across a lot of businesses is they're not getting updated numbers until the 20th or 30th of the next month. It's really hard to run a business effectively when you're working with 30-day-old numbers. You got to have, by the 10th of every month, the entire previous month is wrapped up in a nice little bow. Here's the 3 financial report cards of the business. I can review them. I can move forward. Having dashboards in place that you can look at things daily and weekly all the time is really important. Understanding if the decisions you're making are costing or making you money. What's your break even with profit calculated into it? So break even, and then we do profit break even. If you don't know how to calculate those, we're going to do a webinar actually next few weeks on finance mastery and understanding the finances in your business, because business is math, and if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. So you got to know the numbers. So what's your break even point? Then with the profit I want to have as a business owner by the end of my year, what does this actually look like per month as my upgraded, break even. So break even, and then I'm gonna have a break even with profit calculated into it. And then I'm gonna set the KPIs in my business to go achieve those numbers. I'm probably actually gonna set them a little bit higher. So that way if the team doesn't hit them and we fall a little bit short, we still hit them. That's a management tool for you to leverage in your own team. Use government money wisely, understand the rules. They just came out with the updated regulations, which in my opinion, greatly helped business owners. Some of the regulations around the payroll protection and idle and things like that actually became better for business owners. Know what the rules are. Talk to your bank or to your CPA or your bookkeeper on how it applies to you to make sure that there is a very clear paper trail from the money received to the money spent. That has to be extremely clear. More cash on hand is still suggested. Again, we coach all of our clients to have at least 3 months of overhead in cash as operating cash flow in the bank. Ideally 6 months. So cash on hand is still very important. Make sure that you have cash reserves in your bank accounts. Ideally 3 months worth. So know your numbers. That then gets us to number 7. Rethink your marketing and your sales. So help and educate more of the benefits, more than the benefits. Feature advantage benefit, FAB. If you've never heard of that, we can coach you through it. You can go do some research on it. Understand what's in it for your customers. Help and educate more than just the benefits. What's in it for them, truly? People are perceiving things a whole lot differently right now. Your messaging must be very different right now. Your sales should be done through empathy right now, more than they have in the past. The greasy old used car sales techniques, they should have been gone a long time ago. They should definitely be gone out of your business now. So rethink your marketing and sales and messaging, how you're communicating, how you're educating. Marketing has 2 purposes, education and communication. So make sure that you're doing those 2 things with your marketing. Remember that people have a lot of fear and worry in their life right now. And so how do you help settle them? How do you help add value to their life with what you offer in your product or services? More steps, and it may take longer. Your marketing and sales process may need more steps. So if you never had a sales process outline, flow charted out, do it now. And if you did, you may need to reevaluate it to add more to it, more bite-sized steps along the way, more touches, more engagements until someone's ready to say yes. More video, especially testimonials. In fact, if you didn't take this opportunity to get testimonials and reviews from your customers, then catch up, because this was a great opportunity to listen to them and then to get them to say how amazing you are. So ideally you stepped up to the plate at the beginning of the pandemic, and now you're ready to say, okay, what's the messaging we're having and what's the communication we're responding to? Because again, communication is a response you get. So when you communicate, they respond. Whatever the response is, you must now communicate back to them. And so if the response to your communication is not where you intended it to be, or you're not getting the right message, guess what? That's on you. You must internalize that and say, okay, what must we do differently? Because communication out is the response we get. Customer centric, more questions. Sales, again, in our sales workshops, we talk about the fact that the salesperson's best tool in the toolbox are the questions that a salesperson asks. Your sales process, your marketing must be questions out, not statements. Let them know what you are doing and then ask them a whole bunch of questions. It will help increase the ability for you to market and sell more properly. It's centric, focused around them, not around you. I ask people all the time, so tell me, what do you do? And guess what they answer with? They answer with what they do in the terms of like, well, I do this, I do that, we do this, we do that. Wrong approach. As soon as someone asks you what you do, you turn it around and you make it right back about them. And again, we can coach you through that. If you have questions about it, we'll give you a complimentary session and we'll coach you through how you actually put those strategies in place. Remove the I's and the we's and make it into you and the yours. Build the database. Build the database, build more relationships, build better relationships, build more specific relationships with A and B grade customers, with A and B grade strategic partners. Fire some of those D grade clients or renegotiate contracts so that way you can either push them up to being an A or B grade client, or you're going to get rid of them. It's that straightforward. Number 8, rethink everybody. Everybody. Pay it forward. Customers, obviously you got to thank them, your team, suppliers, bankers, accountants, vendors, strategic partners, anyone who is in your sphere of influence, thank them. Handwritten notes. It's not just like an email, a mass email saying thank you. It's personalized to the individual. Make it bespoke, make it tailored to them on why you're thankful for them, to them. Thank the people around you who are actually adding value to the community. Thank those who are adding value to your business community, to your customers' community, to your local community, and thank other business owners. One of the best ways to focus on small business is to focus on other small business. And I use that term because it's known. You understand what I mean when I say that. Personally, I don't believe in small business in the sense of, I believe every business is a large business in training. If you choose to have a large business, you're choosing to be in training to have it. If you choose just to forever be a business operator instead of a business owner, or to forever be a small business, then that's what you'll be. And that's what you desire, then great. I'm not here to change what you want out of life. If your desire, though, is to be a big business, then guess what? You're not a small business. You're just a big business in training. So thank other business owners who are around you. There's a world of abundance out there. Before we get to number 9, the final one, the path that every business follows, the path that your business follows. We all had the lockdown slump down. I shouldn't say all, the majority. A handful of industries instantly just saw a massive spike. It gave you an opportunity to rebuild some stuff. Right now is your opportunity to rebuild some stuff, to have a strong restart, strong reopen, as you look to go on one of the next 3 paths in the future, the top, middle, or the bottom. So you're either going to make the right decisions right now, or by the end of this year, you're unfortunately going to be part of the massive percent of businesses that are massively struggling. That is not our hope and intention for you. Our goal is that you make the right decisions. So we gave you 8 things so far, and the number 9, the 9th thing really can become the catalyst on which one of these 3 you choose to go down. Because guess what? Whichever path you end up on is the one that you chose. And that's something that you have to take ownership of. That's something that you have to be accountable to and be responsible for. Life doesn't just happen. When things like a pandemic hit, it's your choice on what you do moving forward. And so where you end up is your choice. Number 9 is to rewrite your plan. Your business plan must be critically thought through. So how do we actually do that? Well, we do that in 90 days. You should create a 90-day plan, which is 1 quarter. So creating your next quarter plan becomes vital. Invest 1 day to make sure that you have the right plan for the next 90 in your business. For both the business, for you, for your team, you have the right plan set aside. And guess what? Well, I have all these meetings and I have business on the table and I had to work with my team. Yeah, guess what? That'll all still be there tomorrow. Invest 1 day to create the right plan. It was 90 days to survive, and now it's 90 days to move out of this and thrive. Reopening may be harder than it was closing. Let's be honest about this. So reopening needs some detail. It needs some critical thinking. It needs, honestly, a mentor or coach to have over your shoulder looking at it. You can't afford right now simple mistakes. You must have a detailed plan, a detailed 90-day quarterly plan written out that you and your team will follow. So when we create that, we also got to look at the next 30-day sprint. So 90-day plan, 30-day sprint to kickstart the next quarter strong, super strong, no delays. So this is our offer to you today. Normally we charge a couple $100 to do this. Our offer to you today is a 90-day plan for $90. So how do we do it? $1 a day. It's a 90-day plan for $90. If your business isn't worth $1 a day, you may not want to be in business, if we're being honest about this. So 90-day plan for $90. All you got to do is open up the camera app on your phone, hover over, don't actually take a picture of it, just hover over the QR code right there, and it'll bring up the link. You click on that and you will get registered. You can also go to dmh.actioncoach.com and get all the information there as well. It's $90 for your 90-day plan, done virtually, so you can do it from wherever you're at. So think about this way. When you are going to join us, which is going to be 1 week from the day that this is getting recorded, so June 24th, Wednesday, June 24th, is when the 90-day planning virtual workshop takes place. There will be a host of other businesses in it. We will have a bunch of our coaches on the call, and it is in meeting style where we get to break out and have rooms and really dive into how we can help each other's businesses as a small business community, as a business community. And then we're going to all sit down and we're going to create our plans. So get linked up with us so that way you can actually do that. And then think about the 5 items from today's webinar that you need to take action on immediately, that need to go into your 30-day sprint for the next month. And as a special offer, if you buy 2 tickets, you get the 3rd one for free. So your ticket is valid for you and anyone in your business. So if you know 2 other business owners that, guess what? Every business needs a plan. I don't care who you are, with what we just walked out of, every business needs a plan right now to properly restart and reopen and launch this thing the way it needs to be. Well, you, as the 3 of you, can invest in getting tickets and it'll actually reduce your costs, because if you buy 2, you get the 3rd one for free. So you can kind of cross-pollinate that thing. Every business needs a plan. Your business needs a plan. No excuses. It's just about action now. June 24th, it's a day, it's virtual. Join us. There's gonna be a little bit of education. We're gonna talk through a little bit of these in more detail. And then from there, we're gonna break out into rooms as a business community. We're gonna add value to each other, and we're gonna start creating our individual plan. We're gonna have coaches, multiple coaches on the call. And that way, by the time you're done creating your plan, it will be reviewed one-on-one at the end of the workshop with a coach. So that way you get a little bit of one-on-one time with a coach while we're there to review your plan. So that way you kickstart Q3 stronger than you ever thought you could. We came out of lockdown. It was training phase. We came out of training phase. We went into warm-up phase. Now, guess what? We're ready to sprint. Your business must be prepared to restart, to reopen, to sprint. And there's a lot of different things that go in here. And guess what? If you haven't focused on all of them, you still have time to catch up. Better late than never, some have said. Well, there's some truth to that. And moving forward, you want to be with the curve, if not ahead of it, instead of behind it. So 90-day plan. It's that straightforward. Scan this or go to dmh.actioncoach.com. All the information is there. It's $90 and it comes with a money back guarantee. If you don't get $90 worth of value out of the plan you create, then we'll give it right back to you. I guarantee you're going to get an exponential amount of value added to your business based off of this virtual workshop. $90 is an amazing offer that we are providing to you today. And then think about the 5 things from today that you need to take and put into your next 30-day sprint. I'm Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm here to elevate your business and enhance your lifestyle. You need an updated business plan. Join us on June 24th virtually to create your next business plan. Get connected with us if you're not already, and bye for now.